Hey everybody, it's Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician. Just checking out some more live features here and trying to decide how I'm gonna handle my live YouTube feed and all that other stuff. I'm even contemplating maybe going live once a day, every day for you guys and just sharing what I'm working on and how I'm doing and all that other good stuff. Right now, it's like around between 3-4 o'clock here where I'm from in Boise, Idaho. And my kiddos are down for the count for a nap, so this time every day would be a good time. I'm sorry, I was opening and closing the door there. This time every day I'm thinking would be a good time for me to go live, especially with the kiddos taking a nap. As you know, I do what I do out of my home mainly because I have 4 kiddos to take care of, and so it's much easier to rebuild an engine here at the house than it is to go to a shop and pay a daycare, and ultimately that's why I really do what I do from home. So yeah, going live every day for a little bit around nap time. I think that's a possibility, and then I can, we can hang out and I can answer questions for you and all that other good stuff if you've got a project or something that you're working on. Always remain teachable is something that I live by, and I've got a mentor. He's a wonderful man. His name is Jim Weaver. He's got 50 years in the business of automotive repair, engineering, customization, and fabrication, as well as gunsmithing and engineering all across the board. So if I don't know it, I can definitely find out from him. And I have a whole network, actually, of mentors and stuff that I've always kept over the course of about 18 to 20 years that I've been working in shops and building, rebuilding, diagnosing, repairing, you name it, and whatnot, that I can always go to and find things out. So that's what I really hope to do and create here with YouTube. Now, I've been working for myself for a while in hopes of maybe working into and building like a commercial shop, moving in town and stuff. But I think I've decided to go ahead and invest everything I have here into YouTube. And you guys can hang out and watch me grow and all that other good stuff, and at the same time see what I work on and learn, and I can learn from you, and we can make it all work. So anyways, my dog's sitting out in the middle of the yard. I've got her pretty well trained. She just kind of hangs out there. Ruby, come here. Good dog. Let's go inside. So if you know anything about relays, have you ever seen a relay that's been dissected and opened up? Here's one. I actually pulled this out of a Corvette, I think, a while back ago. And I was just talking with somebody here recently who had some issues. They had some electrical issues with their truck, and their running lights and everything on their truck weren't coming on when they were supposed to and whatnot. And they kept telling me, check the relays. And I told them, relays very rarely go out. And they asked me why, and so I explained to them how it works. And here's one dissected. And so if you ever heard of the term relay when it comes to your vehicle, like a blinker relay or a brake light relay, this is what it looks like. Okay, and it'll have a black cover on it, and it'll be plugged in somewhere. All right, and what it is it's a electronic magnetic coil. All right, that it's not a magnet right now because there's no charge to it. Okay, but when it's plugged in, and when you turn your car on and you turn the proper system on, like your blinker, it provides a charge to this coil here, and it creates a magnet that basically shuts this door. You see this? See in between there? Bam. Okay, so when you hear it clicking back and forth, there you go. You can listen to a relay and you can hear that moving back and forth inside of there, and that's what closes the circuit on, let's say, a blinker or a flasher or a brake light or something like that. All right, now there's a diode down inside of there, and what that diode does, if you can see it down inside of there, okay, what that does is that allows the electricity to only flow and run in one direction. If anything is going to go bad on a relay, it's going to be the diode down inside of there. All right, and at that point you might as well change it out, but they rarely go bad. Now, in between there where you see your shutter at, let's see if we can get it to focus. There we go. In between there where you see your shutter at, where that closes, okay, where my finger is at, that's where it magnetizes at, and then at the bottom there is where it closes. So boom, it shuts. Okay, now you can take this off, actually. Okay, so I've taken this apart now. Don't lose your spring, even though this one's bad. This one's no good. Okay, and what I've done before, instead of replacing them, I've dissected them, taken the little shutter apart, and I've taken just a little piece of emery paper, and I've cleaned those pieces off inside of there. I've cleaned this off, and I've cleaned that off, because they'll get black, and the connection between them won't be as good, because they'll have carbon buildup. Basically, there's just buildup of dirt and grime in there. Or you can leave it as is, and you can run a thin piece of emery paper. Like not all emery paper is thin. There's really thick paper too. So I just laughing at myself there. So anyways, you can take a piece of emery paper and you can run that back and forth in there, and you can clean that off. 9 times out of 10, if a relay is bad, it's because it's got dust and buildup of dirt and grime or carbon or whatever you want to call it in between there. And you clean that off, and you're good to go. So there's just some information about relays. And I've actually been learning a lot about electrical stuff. My mentor now, he's one of the many things he is a electrical engineer. I hate electrical, actually, when it comes to automotive stuff, although I'm somewhat well versed at it, and I have him backing me up on a lot of stuff. And so anything electrical, I could pretty much just call him. And yeah, I'm just like, hey Jim, I'm working on this year, make, model, this is the system I'm working on. And he's real good at guiding me on what to check with the multimeter and all that other stuff. So I have been doing quite a bit of electrical lately. So anyways, I'm excited tomorrow I'm going to get up and get this Jeep done and finished up. I'm waiting on another tool, your wedge timing tool for the Ford Triton. Some of you might know what I'm talking about. I got one step ahead of myself on this stinking deal because the whole deal is not all that great from the get-go, and I get real stressed out when I'm working on it right now. Anyways, so I got one step ahead of myself, and I installed a camshaft before a few lifters. So I need to get a wedge tool in here and lock the timing in place so I can uninstall that camshaft and deal with some lifters. Hey, nobody's perfect, right? And I promised you guys honesty. I promised you reality on this show. So there you go. I'm going to learn a lot of hard lessons off of this deal, but I've got a super good feeling that when I'm done with it here, it's going to run. And you know what? The person may not even want to sell it. It may just run just fine. So we'll see what happens on that deal. So, and then the ground is almost dry. I'm happy about that. I do like the snow, but if it's going to snow, I'd rather it stay snowy and then just stay cold enough for the snow to stick around so I can lay down in it and work, or hurry up and dry up. So it's almost dry now. And so tomorrow I'm going to get underneath the Nissan and finish up the bottom half of the engine, especially now that I got the cylinder head installed, reinstalled, and all that other good stuff. And again, another vehicle that when it comes down to putting it back together, it's not the first one I've done. It's not even the first one on my YouTube channel, but I just made some mistakes on that one. And so I'm learning my lesson and honoring my word and getting this stuff stinking done. And then I've got the engine swap on the Ford, and if you remember my last video, that's actually somebody is paying me to oversee them on this. And so with the snow and stuff that came, we got had to stop on it, basically pause on it, but this is ready to go. the hood is not connected correctly, so I can't really lift it up. But yeah, it's basically ready to go. We got everything ready to reinstall. We got all the parts and pieces we needed off of one engine onto another. Just some information on a 94, 95 Ford 4.0. If you have a standard and an automatic transmission and engine, they bolt up. All you got to do is change out the flywheel and clutch and all that other good stuff. So don't ever worry about that. No worries there. So there you go. Now in the future here, pretty soon, I do have a Subaru. I believe that one day, I'm not real sure. For weeks they've been telling me they were going to bring it in, and things just fall through for them. So, but I might possibly have a Subaru here one day pretty soon that I'm going to pull a cylinder head on, and that's not really hard to do at all, and they're always a lot of fun to work on. So I'm pretty excited about that. All right, folks. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here for the day. I think I will show up again tomorrow, depending upon my schedule and all that other stuff, and I'll work on scheduling live feeds and all that other stuff, and together we'll build a really cool show. And I mean, there is a lot of stuff around here that I have to do. I've got a BCS Italian rototiller that I need to finish rebuilding and put back together, you know, other stuff. So I mean, yeah, as I grow and learn and keep going, you guys can grow and learn with me, and we can grow and learn together. Okay, everybody, well, this is Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician. I am signing off.